Friends, welcome to the 2020 Somerville Lecture, which is, I hope, which will be unique in the history of the Somerville Lecture. I hope it's the only occasion that is this unique. I'm very grateful to our IT department for their assistance with this lecture and to Iman Zantrono for his support tonight. The Somerville Lecture promotes spiritual vitality and community leadership. It's made possible through the Somerville Fund for Spiritual Formation, which was established in appreciation of the pastoral presence and spiritual guidance of Archbishop T. David Somerville, who was the bishop of the Diocese of New Westminster and professor at the Vancouver School of Theology. Vancouver School of Theology is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. And as a school, we are committed to the ongoing quest for truth and reconciliation with Indigenous people. Friends, let's pray together. O God of creation, bless artists who by their gifts make the world a more joyful, beautiful, and truthful place. Through their labors, they teach us to see more clearly the truth around us. In their inspiration, they call forth wonder and awe in our living. In their hope and vision, they remind us that life is holy. Bless all who form and fashion for truth and beauty's sake, O God of life. Pour your spirit upon them that their hearts may sing and their works be fulfilling. In Jesus' name, amen. Friends, let me introduce our speaker for this evening. Currently California residents, James He Chi studied at Nanjing Normal School, Nanjing Art Institute, both in China, and Hamburg Institute in Germany. He is currently artist in residence at Fuller Theological Seminary and distinguished visiting professor at the Art Institute at Renmin University of China in Beijing. He was among the first mainland Chinese to earn a PhD in religious art after the revolution in 1992. He also received his honorary doctoral degree from Australia Catholic University in Melbourne in 2011. He Chi is also a member of the China Art Association and a former council member of the Asian Christian Art Association. He received the 20th Century Award for achievement in recognition of his outstanding work in the field of religious art theory and Christian art creation in Cambridge, UK. His artworks have been displayed in museums, galleries, universities, and churches around the world, and probably in your church and probably in your home too. His work was featured in the New York Times in May of 2020 on the theme of searching for a Jesus who looks more like me. Dr. Richard Melheim says this about He Chi. It's Chagall meets Matisse, meets Picasso, meets the East. Vibrant, energetic, breathtaking, biblical, humorous, whole world art. He hopes to change the foreign image of Christianity in China by using artistic language and at the same time to supplement Chinese art the way Buddhist art did in ancient times. His brilliant, colorful, and highly contemporary paintings emerge unmistakably from the ongoing Chinese context. He Chi blends Chinese folk customs and traditional Chinese painting with the Western art of the Middle and Modern Ages, but adds his own spin, techniques, and style. He says, I believe He Chi may one day be seen as the Michelangelo of the next 1,000 years of Christian art. Welcome, He Chi. We look forward to your lecture and to our discussion this evening. There will be time for questions at the end, and I invite you to type them in the chat box. And now, a brief history of Chinese Christian art and my journey of Christian art creation. Welcome, He Chi.
Okay. Let's see. It's working now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Richard. It's my big honor to be here for sharing my art experience. Particularly, thank you for invite me. I had a dream to come to Vancouver, but maybe next year I can realize my dream. The time is very shortly tonight. First, I would like to share some I studied. Yeah, just quickly to introduce myself again. Some images. Yeah. The first I majored fine art in Nanjing Normal University Fine Art Department. Then I continued studied in Nanjing Art Institute for my master's degree. Then in the early beginning of 1990s, I got a scholarship to study medieval art in Germany, Hamburg Art Institute. And followed my professor, Dean of Hamburg Museum of Art. So each week I came to visit his office just behind of the museum, discussing about medieval art. Yeah, I'm sorry, because the time is so limited, so I speak a little bit fast. It's okay, my pronunciation is clearly for your understanding. Okay, so to research medieval art, particularly to study the medieval arts, I arrived just on time to study the Way of St. James. The Bambic, this may be very, very interesting. Maybe some students very interesting. The Bambic, the St. Jacob's Church. So in 1988, the Council of Europe organized the intellectual conference to discussing about the Way of St. James. So it happened in Bambic, in northern Bavaria. Because during 1980s, Council of Europe, they would like to organize the Western Europe, the different countries join a same one market to use one cash, euro, dollar. So, but before they want to invite some historian to make decision to get some historic evidence why we have to do the union for the European Union. So the scholars they had a meeting conference in Bambic discussing about the Way of St. James. It's most important. So the conclusion, the meeting, the Santiago pilgrimage roads are not everything, but without Santiago pilgrimage roads, everything is nothing. So it's very, very important, even for medieval art. Yeah. So you know the medieval art, medieval history. European Christian, they had tradition since Constantine the Great. In the 4th century, his mother, Helena, came to visit Holy Land for the pilgrim roads. But since 8th century, Islamic occupied Jerusalem. So most of European Christians cannot go there for the pilgrim roads. So you know the Crusaders. And in the 9th century, end of 9th century and 10th century, this big discovery, they found St. James, the disciple of Jesus, is buried here in Santiago de Compostela in the northern west Spain. Spain. Now here. So the many Christians along the Way of St. James to worship to the Santiago de Compostela. So the Way of St. James is very, very important. So I came there in 1991. I got a study, and also we had the Bambic here. They had a first conference there. Then I came to Strasbourg to get the Council of Europe there. They provide a lot of the conference material, the articles. Yeah. So and also I came to along some ancient Roman way, the Way of St. James, how to first international art style we call the first Romanesque style, how to spread out through the way of St. James. So that's very, very interesting. So in Switzerland, I went to ancient Roman road. So it has been said every road linked to Rome. So in the way of St. James, they use the old Roman roads for the pilgrim roads. So a lot of ruins, the sculptures, the Caesar. Yeah. So it's very, very, very interesting. So it's a very good time for me to study medieval art in Germany. And also this is a Cologne. Cologne, the cathedral, you know, I climbing the top of the the tower, the 157 meters high, the finished in 1880s. You know, the after Gothic time, then Renaissance art coming, then they stopped. But in the middle of 19th century, New Gothic revival. So they continue to finish the tower. A big competition, different cities in Europe, particularly in Germany. So the Cologne Cathedral finished the tower 157, both two towers, the most highest church tower in the world. But after 10 more years, in Worm Cathedral, they finished another higher than Cologne. Yeah, this is one tower, 161 meter higher. So the competition. And I went to UK. I went to France. I went to Amsterdam, Netherlands, Italy to study medieval art. And this is I studied stained glass in UK. So maybe you can see my my career, maybe some influence to my artworks later. I will talk about. Yeah. Then in 1993, I got scholar doctorate degree at Nanjing Arts Institute. This is about 10 years ago or 9 years ago. I got honorary doctorate degree from Australia Catholic University. The Chancellor Peter Cosgrove. Later he became governor of Australia, the top #1 leader of Australia. But he was so friendly. Yeah. So interested in my artworks. So I dressed in Australia in Melbourne Convention Center. Yeah. Then in 7 years ago, I published a Christian art history book in Beijing, Religious and Culture Publishing House. It's about over 350 pages, but all I wrote by Mandarin, not English. Sorry. Yeah. Then I was a former when I was a former professor in Nanjing Theological Seminary, I was invited to join the Christian dictionary, the Dictionary of Christianity, and published in 10 years ago in Shanghai. This dictionary was very, very popular in mainland China. I was editor in charge of Christian art history, all the Christian art. Yeah. So I had my art exhibition in Nanjing Theological Seminary. This is a catch of Dean, or former chairperson of Chinese Church, and also the president of Nanjing Theological Seminary. And this is from Beijing, Renmin University. They invited me to be a visiting professor for 3 years. I just finished. And some of my, I do both, except teaching, I'm also doing some art creation. Some of my artworks sharing with some church. They're using for international conference. This is the Lutheran Church in Hong Kong, 1997. They're using my art painting as for the big conference, international conference. This is in Hong Kong. This happened in Hong Kong Convention Center 1 week before, here is a big, the Hong Kong go back to mainland China in the convention hall. Then after 1 week, we had Lutheran Church International Conference there. They are using my artworks. Then 1999, before the two Mandarin in Hong Kong Cultural Center, they had my art exhibition as the first celebration in Hong Kong. So the big my personal art exhibition there, and also cable TV, Hong Kong TV newspaper introduced my art exhibition there in Hong Kong Cultural Center. This is in later moved to California, to San Francisco. Then in the Berkeley GTU, the museum had my art exhibition there in GTU, Berkeley. This is then I moved to United States. I had my 1 year in New Haven. So Yale University, Institute of Sacred Music, they had my art exhibition there in Yale.
James,
so they had a big opening for my art exhibition there. That's wonderful. They are so friendly. Then 2006, I was invited by Oxford to have my art exhibition and to do some lectures there. There's the Regent's Park College, and this is a new college. The Oxford New College, it's not a new college, it's very old. It's one of the oldest colleges in Oxford. So I was there. So the Archbishop of Canterbury, Williams addressed for my art opening.
Hello, Dr. James.
So friendly. Yeah.
Hello, Dr. Sorry, can you share us your screen, please? Your PowerPoint?
You cannot see my...
Yeah, we cannot see your PowerPoint.
Really?
Yeah, just share screen.
Okay. Share screen. Oh, let's see. My first time to use Zoom. Yeah, before. Let's see.
Can you see the share screen button on Zoom? And then you can click on it.
Share screen button. Share screen. Here?
Under your video, yeah?
Yeah.
Share screen. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And make it full screen.
Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's...
Can you make it into full screen, please?
Full screen?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. You haven't seen that before. Wow. Sorry. Wow. I apologize.
Yeah, we can see it now. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe just quick. Yeah, this is in Germany, Hamburg Art Institute, and study there. Okay, sorry. So Germany, the stained glass in UK. I got PhD in this honorary doctor degree in Australia, Melbourne. Yeah, this is, I published a book in Beijing. Yeah, this is a dictionary. I was editor in charge of art, Christian art. And this, I had my art exhibition in Nanjing Theological Seminary, the PhD, the Bishop PhD, the chairman of Chinese Three Self Church, and also former president of Nanjing Theological Seminary. Yeah, and as I was invited by Renmin University as a visiting professor, and some of my artworks I'm using and sharing with some international churches, organization. This is in Hong Kong, 1997. After 1 week, Hong Kong go back to China, the convention center in Hong Kong, Lutheran Church. This is for my art exhibition in Hong Kong Culture Center for celebration the millennium in the Hong Kong Culture Center. My personal art exhibition. This is in GTU Berkeley Art Museum. This is in Yale University, Yale Institute of Sacred Music. They had a big party, opening party for my art exhibition. That's wonderful. Then this is in Oxford some years ago. I was invited by Oxford, the Regent's Park College, and this is a new college sharing and Archbishop of Cambridge address for my art opening. Williams, he was so friendly. This is Princeton Theological Seminary invite me to share my artworks there, to speech there. Yeah, sharing with the students, the graduate students. We had this is in Stanford University in Alabama, Birmingham, and this is in your country, Canada, in Toronto, Macleaf College. So, Dr. Richard, you graduated from this college, Macleaf. Yeah, this is a Trinity College. This is Concordia, St. Louis. This is in Chicago, in Wheaton University. The museum, Benny Graham Museum, had my art exhibition there. Yeah, in Benny Graham Museum. And this is in St. Wolf College in Minnesota. And this is in Drew University in New Jersey. And this is the San Francisco Theological Seminary. Now the seminary was disappeared. This is in Oxford College, Minneapolis. And this is in the Kevin College in Michigan. Yeah, I had my art exhibition and doing some lecture there. And also I was invited by some conference. This is Episcopal and Lutheran Church. They had a big conference in Massachusetts. And this is CPF invited me to be a special speaker in Birmingham. And this is invited by UCC to join the 50 years anniversary celebration speeching. Yeah, Obama also coming as a special guest. This is in Australia. I was invited by Lutheran Church, the national conference there, to make a speech there in Adelaide. And this is I was invited by World Council of Churches in Busan, Korea, to make a speech for the theological education group. Make a speech after finish my speech. Yeah, the congregation. This some years ago I was invited to join the CBF, the 25th anniversary celebration in Atlanta. Yeah, they had a very big conference and invited me to speak. I also did some art creation. It's a sketch for ELCA, Lutheran Church, listening to Africa to make a big tapestry, yeah, for the big tapestry. Then around displayed show different churches around the United States. And also this is, I was invited by University of Houston to make lectures there. And this I was invited by Purdue University. And I also joined I had some art exhibition this is in Manhattan, New York, American Bible Museum, with other five Asian Christian artists together to join art. There's some churches. I only show the example. Yeah, this is in Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church in New York City, Manhattan. They had my art exhibition there. And this is art exhibition in Russia, St. Petersburg State Museum. They invite me to, but I, but 5 years ago, 2015, I went back to Minnesota for selling my house, old house. Then I moved to Los Angeles, so I could not to join. The organizer very sad. Our big opening without artists coming, so they had my art exhibition there in St. Petersburg State Museum. They had my art exhibition, and this painting particularly introduced by National Geographic Channel TV. They introduced this painting particularly during Easter season some years ago. And this painting introduced by Washington Post, the Song of Solomon, my painting. And this brand new introduced by New York Times. Yeah. So my friends, New York Times, this year in April, just before Easter, the New York Times introduced. Now I want to share so quickly share a brief history of Chinese Christian art. The time is too limited, so I divide four parts. Yeah, I published over 20 articles, and the Chinese Catholic Church they put on their website for many years because the Christianity, the history of Christianity. When I talk in the Christian art, mostly for the Catholic Church, they are so proud of, they are using. So first part is their story, from Tang Dynasty to Yuan Dynasty, their story. The second part, Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, late Ming Dynasty to mid Qing Dynasty. The third part, semi-colonization after Opium War to 1949. The fourth part, contemporary after the Cultural Revolution. So just quickly, this I have no time to talk about because some Chinese scholars now they had a discovery, big discovery in the first century Dong Han, first century, end of first century, they had a big discovery in Xuzhou Museum. They think about this nativity, the images, the Christian art. I don't think so. So I published my article. I don't think so. So I have no time to continue talking about, because my experience in Italy. Yeah, this is in Rome. I came to visit Pristina Catacomb. The earliest Christian art, the images we could find is the mid of 3rd century, So based on the communication studies, we cannot say somewhere even early than original place. So I don't think so. So the 1st century in China, Xuzhou, we had in Chinese first Christian images, Christian art is wrong. No. So just this is this baptistry of Dura Europas now in Yale. Yeah, I have seen this. This is also the middle of 3rd century. Yeah. So the historian came to China in Tang Dynasty in the let's say yeah, through along the circle. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so we can look at this map in Tang Dynasty. The Tang Dynasty, here is a Great Wall. Yeah, here is a Great Wall. And here is Yellow River. Yeah, Yellow River. Yeah, that's very, very important. Then Chang'an, the capital city here, Luoyang, another second capital here. So the west of Yellow River, the river Hexi Zoulang corridor, the Western River corridor here is belong to Tang Dynasty. So the big discovery here, I will tell you something very interesting for the Christian art. And also in Xi'an, the capital city, Nestorian coming because during Tang Taizong, it's big, very open. This emperor is great. The opening, open Chinese door. Foreigners coming, welcome. So in Chang'an, the capital city, they established some churches, Nestorian churches there. So we can, because tonight's no enough time, maybe you have interesting, you can see some Nestorian from Google, you can do some research, Nestorian. So this is the most important evidence. The Nestorian city erected in Chang'an, 781. The first year coming to Tang Dynasty capital city, 335. The year coming to Chang'an, they all recorded. They recorded the history, the over 100 years. The history, the Christian church, Nestorian, how to spread out in mainland China. So this is most important evidence. Yeah, the Nestorian city is most important. Yeah, there's some theory. Yeah. So here, look at this. Yeah, the cross is the Eastern cross in the Orthodox Church, also not the Roman Latin cross. So this is very, very important. Here is a lotus flower. Lotus, is a symbol of Buddhism. And the cloud is a symbol of Chinese Taoism. But most important is that Buddhism. Buddhism, because Nestorian how to become very similar, like packaged by Buddhism due to Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian, the queen, the lady, the emperor, you see it's a long period. Yeah, from 665, she was a queen. Her husband was emperor, but she can control his husband, then control the whole country. Then after some years, his son becomes emperor, but she can control his son. Then after, let's see, 690, he become emperor. He changed the Tang Dynasty, the name, Huzhou. Yeah, he became emperor over more than 15 years. And she very interested in Buddhism. Only a law Buddhist temple could exist. So even you can see the Roman Krotos. This Buddha, similar like her portrait. Yeah, follow her portrait. Yeah, like Buddha. So Roman, she spent money to establish Roman Buddhism. Yeah. So since Wu Zetian time, Nestorian China, the image, the package looks like a Buddhism, like a Buddhism temple, everything. Yeah, many. The image, the package looks like Buddhism. So you can see always a cross. The flower is Buddhism, the flower, but the fruit is a cross Christianity. Yeah. So this is the lotus flower is a symbol of Buddhism. It's a Buddhism. Yeah. So this is a pagoda in Chang'an. We have no time to talking about this. Inside this tower, you know, in the Buddhism, they always man a temple. Then always they have to build another tower nearby, very close by. But in Chang'an, this tower, the main temple was destroyed, but only the tower, the pagoda exists. But inside the tower, they have some sculpture, nativities, and some Old Testament story images like Jonah on the whale. I usually some years ago I want to come to visit there. I contact discussing with, but they closed. They refused any people coming inside to do research work. So it's very sad for me. You know, here, this Tulufan in Xinjiang province, a big discovery there now is a German archaeologist, the Koch, more than 100 years ago. They came to there to find the fresco in ruins, the old church, Nestorian church. They only got this, the part of the fresco, the Palm Sunday, you see, Palm Sunday. Now they collect in Berlin, Indian Museum in Berlin, having to Berlin. But I wanted to see this score painting. It's above. Yeah, there's someone did a copy, imitation, then painted on score. Yeah, this Palm Sunday. Yeah, it looks like not a donkey, but maybe a horse. Yeah, Jesus. Now, here is a fragmentary painting. It's also very important. Discovered in Denghuang, also along the Hexi走廊 West River corridor in Denghuang. Yeah, so the step by step, they discovered, they finished it's Jesus. Yeah, but some looks like a Buddhist statue. Yeah, this is the cross here. Yeah, they finished. Now they also found some angels, but this angel is very hard to discuss about. Now the one collected now in Japan, in Tokyo, maybe it's belong to Buddhism. Yeah, it's very still more material to discussing about whether belong to Christianity, because it's much early, 4th century, so it's hard to see. The story was discontinued in Central Prime during Tang Dynasty because there was a great anti-Buddhism. You know, the Tang Wuzong, the emperor, he hated Buddhism. He destroyed Buddhism because in the year of 845, he destroyed all the Buddhism temple. And because the Nestorian similar like a Buddhism temple, so he destroyed two, including Nestorian. But there were some Nestorian moved to the River Road area. Later, after 100 years, back to Central Prime in Yuan Dynasty. Yeah, almost after more than 400 years. So the in the central plan, inside the Great Wall, they destroyed, Tang Wudong destroyed Buddhism, but the Nestorian moved to this area, now belong to Mongolia, inner Mongolia, yeah, this area. Then later we discovered many Nestorian cross here, this area, not inside the Great Wall. So then back to Nestorian, back to China in Yuan Dynasty, because the Hubidi, he was a grandson of Genghis Khan, and his mother was a Nestorian. His mother was the daughter-in-law of Genghis Khan. Then the Nestorian back to China during Yuan Dynasty. During Yuan Dynasty, and here is a big discovery. A lot of Nestorian crosses discovered. Yeah, in this area. Yeah, it's about 17th century, particularly 12th and to 17th century, even before Yuan Dynasty coming to inland Central Plain inside Great Wall. This also very similar like Buddhism. Yeah, you'll see this is very like a karma, 轮回, reincarnation. Yeah, because Christianity in China, they do some mission work to the form of Buddhists. For the resurrection, you can get a new life resurrection, to like similar like Buddhism. Yeah, karma, yeah, reincarnation, 轮回. Yeah, so another in 100 years ago, in 1920 to 1930, a big discovery around the Yellow River, inner Mongolia. They all totally discovered 1,300 pieces of cross. You know, about 800 years ago, the Nestorian people, after they died, they bury the folk for the burial. Yeah, so another Nestorian cross. Now, today, almost 1,000 collected in Hong Kong University. In Hong Kong University, 1996. Yeah, and over 300 in Drew University. I was invited by Drew University to do some lectures there. I met this one of the oldest archaeologists. When he was young, he joined this group to discover this foreign group. Dr. Robert, his wife, Ivan, was president of Drew University during some years ago. Yeah, wonderful. This the bronze, made in bronze, this cross. And yeah, for the resurrection, the death, Holy Spirit, and there is a church, that's foreign cross church, built by Hubidi, the emperor's mother, outside Beijing in Fangsan. And now it's just ruins. Now we can, all the main part destroyed, but some part now collected in Nanjing City Museum, in Nanjing Museum. The cross and the dragon. Dragon is a symbol of power of emperor. So some other places. So even this is in Yangzhou, Yuan Dynasty, the cross and lotus flower, and some discovered in Quanzhou, in Fujian province. Yeah, a lot of Yeah, another, we have no time to discuss about, this is very interesting. Yeah, canopy, it's actually from Buddhist, yeah, but it's a cross, the lotus. Yeah, this is a Buddha, the canopy, yeah. So the influence to the Buddhist always influence to Nestorian, and this some from influence from Rome. Now you can see this earth from Rome, the art, the Nestorian images. So we finished the first part. The second part, the Society of Jesus, Jesus, you know, the late Ming Dynasty to middle of Qing Dynasty is the late Ming Dynasty. So first, Portuguese, Macau. Then some person, very, very important. Maybe you all know Matthew Rich, very, very important society of Jesus, Limateu, and the Rocha, also very, very important. And this is a famous painting from Italy, the priest, Jesuits, Lang Shilin, Gastignon, yeah, wonderful. So this is a Ming Dynasty. Yeah, this is most important here. This is Macau and Hong Kong. So the Portuguese coming to China, they occupied this Macau as the base area. Yeah, this is Macau. Yeah, now some ruins from St. Paul College from Macau, founded in this year, the end of 16th century. So 大三巴牌坊. So this is very, very important for the tourists coming to Macau to see this. But for Portuguese, the Jesuits, they're using Macau as a basement to study. They have a college, give special training to learn Chinese Mandarin there. Then they went to mainland China. And also very interesting, during Middle Age, the church, look at the map, the main entrance is faced to the west entrance, but the worship area is faced to the east. Now they want to get Jerusalem back. Jerusalem is location in the east, but here in Macau, the Jesuits built this church, face to south, and the main worship place face to north. They want to do missionary to the north, to China, to in Beijing, the capital city in the north. So this is very interesting. So there's some examples, very, very important. The Chinese Virgin Mary, the scroll painting by Tang Ying. Yeah, that's middle Ming Dynasty, very famous Tang Behu. And this rosary, they think about creation by Dong Qicang, another famous Chinese artist. So this one, this one still we need discussing. This is the masterpiece. Yeah, this now the collected in Field Museum in Chicago. That's wonderful. Matthew Rich also mentioned he looked at these pictures, very moved by that. This is very typical Chinese Madonna. Yeah, you can see the baby Jesus looks like a Chinese boy. This painting is very, very important. The thing about it is by famous Chinese artist Tang Ying, Tang Behu. Now his painting, he's almost the most famous painter to paint figures. Yeah. So the thing about this is belong to Tang Ying's painting. Now they're collected in a field museum in Chicago. Yeah, I'm planning to come to visit there to see the original. I will check. I have no time to discuss about this right now. This is very, very famous man. He collects, yeah, from China. Now the Matthew Rich, yeah, very, very famous. He is a Portuguese, as a he encouraged Chinese artists to do, to make not just a copy. He did bring some original from Flemish agents, yeah, to ask, yeah, Chinese local artists to do the wood carving, yeah, for the missionary. Now you can see, we just, this one is very, very important. Yeah, wait a moment, I need some water. Hey, 一华，一华，明天有助兴晚，我有点不舒服。Sorry, it's too hot. Yeah. 你把它开开来吧 ，air condition， 把空调开开来。Yeah. This by Dongji Chang, yeah, we can see some. Yeah, we have no enough time. Yeah. So we just quick look. This road, this wonderful. I do appreciate the wood carving, Annunciation. Very, very typical Chinese. Yeah, much better just to make a copy from European art. This wonderful. This angel coming, they Mary. 你把它推过去，开开来。最左边那个推到左边，它就开了。Sorry, it's the temperature is too hot. Today is almost 100 temperature degree here. So this is wonderful. Yeah, so you can see this visitation, wonderful. Yeah, looks like the story happened in China, the local area. This is a prayer in the garden. That's wonderful. You can see the crucifixion. Yeah. So the ascension. Yeah. They originally they had original model from European art, but for this particular Dongqi Chang, yeah, this is some very Chinese localization creation, something new. Yeah, the same Christian motive, the painting. This is another. This one not so good, not like a masterpiece, because it's very similar, like just make a copy from the European original paintings. Not so good, but the publication is much popular for, yeah, the biblical story. But this one, the final page is something very fantastic. You can see Assumption of Virgin. So the red part is a Western priest, and the left part is a Chinese Buddhism and Confucianism and Taoism, the worship. Yeah, this together. That's very interesting. And also even continue from middle end of Ming Dynasty to Qing Dynasty. Qing Dynasty, even the emperor, yeah, Kangxi, the emperor, he was very interested in Christianity. Even he wrote some poem. Yeah, the Kangxi. He was an emperor, a very long, over 60 years, the longest emperor in Chinese history. He was very interested in Christianity. He wrote some poems. Yeah, and the crucifixion, that's wonderful. And he also invited some, now you can see the artists from Italy, Caschi New, Lang Shiling, to join Palace Gongting Hua Shi. Yeah, the artists working in the palace. Yes, Lang Shiling, he did very Chinese. There's an angel and Chinese boy, baby. Yeah, this one I don't know why Lang Shiling punched the fighting, the dragon, killing the dragon. St. George. Yeah, this is very popular motif I know. St. George killing the dragon, but the dragon is a symbol of Chinese emperor. But the emperor Kangxi invite the artist coming to do this painting creation. It's very, it's very strange for me. Oh, the emperor, the Kangxi, were angry. Oh, are you kidding me? No. So now something happened afterwards. You know, this the Chinese rights controversy, yeah, was disputed among Roman Catholic missionaries like Dominicans and Franciscans. Yeah, this is big trouble. After Emperor Kangxi passed away in 1722, just 2 years, his son Yongzhen, yeah, published a prohibition of Christianity policy. So stop. Yeah, there were over 300 Christian churches in China were confiscated by the government. So they took over, and all the Christian mission in China stopped since 1724. More than 100 years. Then later, Open War. Yeah, from Open War, after 100 years, 120 years, the Open War happened. The Western powers opened, yeah, the gate of China by force. Later, Protestant church and Catholic church missionaries they came to mainland China, and it's along the, yeah, you know, the southeast coast, the Western missionaries coming. So along the southeast coast, there's some ports, the cities, they built many churches, but most European style. Yeah, so they coming from the sea. Yeah, this from British. So the Open War. Yeah, you can read from Google. Yeah. So now since Open War, the two Open War, So along the southeast part of China, southeast coast of China, the city, they built many, Western churches. Particularly during the middle of 19th century, Victoria time, the New Gothic was popular, so-called Victorian Gothic. So now in mainland China, they built in Guangzhou, New Gothic, and this is Sunxing Cathedral in Guangzhou. Guangzhou, very, this is Fuzhou, and another Gothic church, and this is a Fuzhou Gothic church. This is a Fuzhou, you can see Gothic church. The year 1864, just after Second Opium War. Fuzhou, Ningbo in Zhejiang province, another Gothic church style. Wenzhou, Zhejiang province. Wenzhou, Shanghai, Trinity Church, after First Opium War, 1847. That's very British style. Victorian, British Gothic. This is Shanghai, Trinity Church. So very Gothic, very Western. This is Baroque style also. For the Roman Catholic Church, they built some Baroque style churches along the southwest coast of China after Opium War. So you can see the Baroque style, the Gothic, New Gothic style, St. Joseph. So all the year you can see 1863, just after Opium War. Sheshan, this is the most beautiful church in the Near East. It's very Sheshan. It belongs to Songjiang, outside Shanghai. My wife was born in this city, small town. Songjiang. So inside, very typical Western Gothic style. Shanghai. The Presbyterian Church. Yantai, Shandong province. Gothic. Gothic. This is in Tianjin. This is in Tianjin. This is a Baroque style. It's very, it's in Beijing, Gothic style. And in northeast China, Russian Orthodox influence. Traditional Byzantine style and Russian style, Orthodox Church style in Harbin, in northeast China, some influenced by Russia. So, and also to Shanghai. So, Orthodox Cathedral. Because revolution in Russia since 1917, Russian Orthodox Church moved to from Harbin then to Shanghai. They built some Orthodox Church in Shanghai. Then this is very important events happened. Boxer Rebellion. That's terrible. They are anti-foreign and anti-Christian. That's terrible. Just 2 years, then stopped. Then after Boxer Rebellion, something happened. The Christian church, including Protestant church and Catholic church, they changed the mission policy. They changed more Chinese yeah, indigenous way. Because before, during the Boxer Rebellion, it had been said in China, one more Christian, one less Chinese. Yeah, they think about all the Western. Yeah, not if you belong, you worship Christianity, you are not Chinese. Yeah, you see the church, all the Western style. So the missionaries, they changed the policy. They using Chinese traditional, indigenous way. Yeah, they're using some Chinese painting to put inside a hospital. This is in Hangzhou. The Jesus standing the boat with his disciples looks like 八仙过海. Yeah, like. So the nativity, the Chinese Protestant Church encouraged some artists to do some very Chinese indigenous art creation. The nativity, the first, this one looks like Buddhism. This one looks like Confucianism. This like Taoism. Yeah, like Taoism. These three, worship. This nativity, the baby Jesus, Mary. Yeah. This is from Roman Catholic Church, Chenluga, in 1920s. Very, very Chinese. Yeah, looks like a Guanyin. Mary holding baby Jesus. Luca. Yeah, so they encourage, the missionaries encourage Chinese artists to do very typical Chinese indigenous way to express the Christian faith. So the crucifixion, yeah, the Lu Hongnian are very famous. I was invited by Boston University to publish their book. I was written a part, introducing some, including these artists, very, very famous, very beautiful. The nativity, the Christmas Eve, they locking the door, but the dog coming. The host refused to come inside. They went inside. So this is an escape to Egypt by boat. It's by the water road. It's maybe much longer way. The Good Samaritan. Yeah, the Lu Hongnian, another painting. Looks like a Guanyin. Like Wang Suda. Yeah, the artist, student of Chen Luga. He originated from a Buddhist family. So his painting, looks like, this is a basic Annunciation, the angel coming, and Mary reading a book, reading Bible. Yeah, looks like a Buddhist temple. Jesus with the children. So also some architecture, like Chinese traditional architecture style. This is Hongdetang in Shanghai, 1928. In 1920s, particularly after May 4th. May 4th happened in 1919. For the church, Protestant church and the Roman Catholic Church, they had Chinese development, Chinese way, including the church architecture, very Chinese way. This is Rugao Jiangshu, the Christian church, very typical Chinese architecture style. This is Taofengshan in Hong Kong. This picture, I took this picture by Lutheran church. The founder, Ai Xiangde from Norway, Norwegian. It's very typical Chinese way. Yeah, yeah, they're using the keep the traditional destroying the lotus flower, the cross. Yeah, this I took the picture. Yeah, Daofengshan in Hong Kong, in Shatian. I was a former research fellow by Daofengshan. Yeah, every year I was invited to come to visit to study. This is in Hong Kong Episcopal Church, St. Mary. Yeah, very typical Chinese architecture style. Yeah, the palace style. Yeah, this is in Hangzhou, Sichentang. I took this picture. This is mixed together, but this the windows. Yeah, in the 19. Yeah, 民国16年 1927. Yeah, you can see the windows, very typical Chinese. Yeah, the windows, I like these windows. Santo, they put together the Chinese traditional architecture style with Roman, some Western, together, mixed together. This church, yeah, in Fujian province, in Fujian, in Anhui, yeah, in Jiangsu, Yangjiaqiao, Suzhou, yeah, very typical Chinese. Yeah, mixed together, the Gothic with local. And some Protestant church in China, they support to develop some Chinese university. This is in Beijing University, Nanjing University. Now Beijing belongs to Beijing University. Very Chinese, typical palace architecture style. Yeah. This is a Nanjing University. My father was a professor, mathematics professor and dean of mathematics department and teaching the mathematics there. A very typical Chinese way. Yeah, this is Nanjing Normal University. I was studied, majored fan art in this Jingling, the first women university in Nanjing Normal University, and studied fan art in fan art department. Yeah, very typical Chinese style. Yeah, supported by Western missionaries. Very typical Chinese architecture. It's in different cities. This is St. John University in Shanghai. Yeah, St. John. You can see some Chinese. This is Shandong, Qilu University. Yeah, Fuzhou University with quick look in Wuhan and Chengdu. Yeah, very typical Chinese way. Yeah, so you can see the Western missionaries support to Chinese education. They established the most famous. Yeah, this is by Roman Catholic Church supported to build Fuller University. Now moved to Taiwan. Fuller University, very typical Chinese way, Chinese architecture. Wonderful. This is the same architect built in Hong Kong. Yeah, in Hong Kong. Yeah, Holy Spirit Seminary in Hong Kong. Wonderful. I came to visit there several times. Beautiful. Now, the third party spirit, yeah, since 1949 to 1966, because New China was born, and they asked the new government asked the Western missionaries back home. So the great leader Chairman Mao wrote an article, Bye Bye Streuden. Streuden was a founder of Nanjing University, Nanjing Seminary, and American but failed. And so Western missionaries back home since 1949. Then no any continue church construction in China since 1949 to 66. Yeah, culture. Then 66, another event coming happened. Cultural revolution destroyed. Not like before, they just stopped to build church, but during cultural revolution, they destroyed many churches in China because cultural revolution. They just follow great little China Mao, destroy the old world to build new world, new world. So I will talk about the contemporary after the cultural revolution. Yeah. So the most important 1985 is art trending. The movement for the young generation artists. It's very, very important, this movement. I will tell you later. Then the 1990s, Chinese indigenous activities. Yeah, after June 4th, yeah, we can, in church in China could only allow 3 self and Chinese indigenous way. So I was inside. I was a professor teaching. So I joined this movement. Very encourage Chinese indigenous way. And the third part, new century, modern expression. Yeah, after the millennium. Yeah, then the fourth part, I will talk something about the Chinese contemporary church, Chinese church architecture. So the first 1985, the art movement in mainland China. This is my very close friend, artist, famous painter artist, Ding Fang, my very close friend, my neighbor in Nanjing. Now, then he became a professor in Nanjing University, then to Renmin University, Dean of Art College. And why cultural revolution could be happened? So among the scholars, Chinese scholars, including Chinese artists discussing, we had a Yellow River tradition or history, but no hate, no spirit, all the body, no hate. Yeah, we need a cross. We need a crucifixion. Christianity to survive Chinese culture, newborn. Yeah, I wrote an article, yellow equal blue. Yellow aid blue equal green. Like an artist to use blue color, the Christianity from blue, from sea, the water. And our traditional cultures, yellow river, yellow, they mix together, green. Green is the color of resurrection. We could make Chinese culture a resurrection. So there are some young Chinese artists joining this. Yeah, they need something new. We need a reformation for traditional Chinese culture. Why our Chinese culture could be happened? Cultural revolution. It's terrible. We need a crucifixion. Now the dean of your dean encouraged me to talk about my own art. I was a little bit nervous because I think I'm only a water. I just want to move to the stream and entering the river to the sea and just the water. So maybe I can just sharing something from the water, maybe some opposite. Yeah. So my creation, a journey I would like to share right now. First, looking for peace. That's very, very important. Yeah, my painting introduced by New York Times. The sharing for peace. This is the most step by step I want to share. We are living in the world, not peaceful. You can see the wave. But the peaceful message transfer through disciples' heart. In the church, after Sunday worship, we shaking hands, peace be with you. So I do think the most important message, sharing peaceful message. Peace be with you is most important. As a Christian artist, life is too short. I can only concentrate for sharing peaceful message through my artworks. We are living in the world not so peaceful. We need to sharing. We need to hearing the angel's voice for peace, sharing peace. So when I was a teenage boy, Cultural Revolution was happened. The time in the magazine when China went mad because the Great Leader Chairman Mao became crazy. So everybody in China became crazy during that time. So every minute people just criticize, destroyed, burning. This destroyed the church. Some destroyed the temple, Buddhist temple also destroyed. They went to the Buddhist temple in Chifu in Shandong province. Then big slogan, #1 terrible man. They destroyed. It's a terrible time. This is Confucianism. This Buddhism, they just destroyed. So this is from, I took this picture from my city, Nanjing. Outside the city, there was a famous Buddhist temple. Just one day during Cultural Revolution, the Red Army coming, they cut all the statue, the head. So after Cultural Revolution finished, in the early beginning of 1980s, the temple was reopened. For the monks, the first task is looking to find the head disappeared. So this is just follow Great Leader Chairman Mao. Just destroyed. Then I was a young student in middle school. I was sent to countryside to do very hard farmer work. I was not strong enough. I think I could not do the very heavy labor work in the field. What things I can do to let me avoid this very hard labor work in the field? If I can do painting, to paint Chairman Mao's portrait, I will be lucky. So everywhere, every corner in China, people really need to worship Chairman Mao. They established an altarpiece to invite some people to paint Chairman Mao's portrait, and let people standing in front of the Chairman Mao's portrait worship him. So it's very hard. It's to talk my heart. Talking about this very typical, very tragedy time for me. For my mother. My mother was a history teacher teaching the middle school in Jingling, famous middle school, and her school was closed. So every day she had to join the political study. And one night, after 6 p.m., she wanted back home for cooking her 5 kids. I was the third. But very boring political study still kept going on. And the leader leading the political study refused my mother back home early. He said, the Chairman Mao's new speech coming, we need to study. But my mother just took her political study newspaper, Chairman Mao's portrait, Chairman Mao's book back home. She wanted back home. But suddenly there was a small red book falling down the floor. Then the director said, how dare you are? You threw out Chairman Mao's book, the small red book written by Chairman Mao. So because of this reason, my mother became a counter-revolution. So I still remember every day morning, my mother had to falling down, the public place falling down the Chen Mao's portrait and saying, Chen Mao, please forgive me what I did totally wrong. Please forgive me. In the evening, repeat again. The whole month, my mother got a mental problem. So many years later, yeah, in 1998, my mother got a heart disease. We sent my mother to local hospital, but the doctor refused. No, we cannot take care of your mother. Your mother had a mental problem. You need to move your mother to our neighbor hospital, mental problem, the professional. Then we moved my mother, to the mental hospital. But in that hospital, the doctor still refused. No, we cannot take care of your mother. Your mother had a very dangerous heart disease. No way. Only back to home. 1 week, my mother passed away. So even the cut revolution gone many years, still many tragedy linked with ordinary Chinese people, the family. It's tragedy. So during that time, when I was a teenage boy in the countryside, in the daytime, I paint Chen Mao. In the midnight back home, I paint Madonna. Why I could paint Madonna? I had a very wonderful neighbor in city, Nanjing, a professor in Nanjing Normal University, former dean, Lu Sibai. When he was young, he studied in art, European art, expression art in Paris, in France. And he was very friendly with me. During Cultural Revolution happened, he told me I did play in a playground outside and with other kids. My neighbor told me, Chi, please follow me. I will share you something. So I went to follow him to his private home. He showed me his paintings. Yeah, wonderful, very colorful, impressionist style, very colorful. He told me, now the time is not okay for you to study mathematics, follow your father now. Just follow me to study art. You are very clever. I think you can become a very famous artist. You are very clever. So I did borrow his magazine, art magazine, back to the field. In the people's community, the countryside, there was a big competition. A lot of kids, middle school students like me, they want to take this job to paint Chen Mao's portrait. But I was a final winner. Yeah, because I studied for my famous labor artist. Yeah, Lu Sibai professor. Yeah, he was a dean of Nanjing Normal University, also professor with Xu Beihong, very famous. And I took this job. So in the daytime, I paint Chen Mao's portrait. And back home, I found the art magazine I did borrow from my neighbor. One image very touched my heart. So peaceful. Mary holding baby Jesus, very peaceful. This is my copy. So in the daytime, I paint Chen Mao. In the midnight, I paint Madonna, sharing with my friends. This collected by my younger sister. Yeah, very peaceful. So I was very, very interested through this image, Madonna, by Raphael, Italian Renaissance, famous artist, very famous. So even now, today, you can see some of my artwork still linked with Raphael's Madonna. You can see some? Yeah, you can see some. Hearing, yeah, Jesus coming to the open Chinese door. Yeah, it's you can see. Yeah, Jesus' first miracle, the wedding in Cana. Hearing rejoices, hearing peaceful. For wedding, Jesus knocking the door, bring peaceful message, so peaceful. I wish the story could be happening in China for Chinese people. Arc of a lawyer, the Arc of lawyer. The painting I painted in 2005, yeah, after Katrina happened. But this is my, I told my friend, this is my Titanic. Yeah, the dangerous things gone. Now peaceful now. The Ark of Noah. Yeah. Jonah on the wheel. The Lord make me an instrument of your peace. This is St. Franciscan. St. Francis. Yeah, you all know. I really, yeah, I do appreciate. Pray. St. Francis prayer. Wonderful. So the second part, my art resources, my art sources. The first from Chinese folk arts. The second medieval art from my experience art study in Europe. The third modern art. So for Chinese art tradition, the most tendency of Chinese art is based on Chinese religion, the black and white, the water and the blue. So you can see in Chinese corner in New York Metropolitan Museum in New York, Manhattan, there is a Chinese corner. They collect some Chinese traditional painting, landscape, bamboo, no color, just black and white. Because for Chinese scholars in the old history, Chinese scholars, they're holding two choices. One is Confucianism, reading book, and passing official examination. If good, they could have a chance to enter official circle to conquer the power, become very important man. Confucianism, the most important, the first choice. But the second choice for Chinese scholar, Buddhist, like Chinese religion. So the middle of China, Tang Dynasty, Wang Wei, famous scholar, he wrote many very famous portraits, and his painting landscape collected in Metropolitan Museum, one piece. And he was a famous Confucianist, very good, passed the official examination. He got a very high political position as a vice premier in the central government. But one day, he involved political turbulence. He was put in the prison. So in the prison, he was totally lost, no more interest in Confucianism at all. He read Buddhism, very interesting Buddhism. Then after many years, he escaped from the prison. No more interest in the real world. Then living in the country, in the countryside, in the mountain, dialogue to the nature. So he discovered a landscape, a bamboo, Chinese scholar painting started. He was a founder. Water, black and white, no color, no more interesting real world. So the main tendency of Chinese painting, no color. But for God creation, let there be light. God did colorful world creation. And Jesus said, let's become a light of the world. For impression Messiah, through light, very colorful words. So through light. So another side, not traditional Chinese scholar painting, main tendency of Chinese art history, but for Chinese folk arts, very colorful. So Chinese minority people, Chinese folk arts, very colorful. Have you seen the Chinese opera? Beijing opera, very colorful. I do appreciate. So my painting. Yeah, it's like a Beijing opera. Very colorful. And Chinese minority people. Yeah, very colorful. Yeah, I went to Tibet. I spent more than 3 years living in Tibet in Lhasa. So you can see the blue sky, the temple, the golden roofs of the temple, Nama temple, very, very colorful. We just appreciate. I like, yeah, the blue sky, the colorful. So I did some copies. I need a group of artists to do a copies. I had an art exhibition in Beijing Central Art Museum in 1981 to 1982. The first time to introducing Tibetan Nama temples frescoes. The first time. I did a copy over 50 pieces. Yeah. So inside the Nama temple. Yeah, in Tibet. Very colorful. So you can see my artworks, the crossing, the Red Sea crossing, Tibetan woman, lady, dancing, the Tibetan woman. The baptism of Jesus, baptism, John, baptism, you can see it looks like a Tibetan. Very colorful. Yeah, the Western, the minority people. Yeah, you can see the Song of Solomon. There was a famous, it's a famous song, folk song, the monk climbing the mountain, half monk climbing the mountain. A very romantic story happened. And then I went to the southwest part of China, the mountain area, to encourage the local Tujia and Miao minority people to make tapestry. I designed the Good Samaritan. Yeah, the Miao people. Yeah, like Miao, the minority people. I like minority people, very colorful. Then I got this scholarship to study medieval art in Germany, in Hamburg Art Institute. Hamburg Art Institute is one of the most famous art institute in Europe. Yeah, so the professor, so you can see some medieval art, the baby Jesus holding the apple. Jesus was born, he wanted to redeem the people, all the people we had original sin. But Jesus just holding the apple, not eating. So you can see my artworks. Yeah, Jesus, baby Jesus just holding the apple, not eating. Not like the cell phone, iPhone. It's, yeah, eating some part. So this is medieval art. Yeah, you can see some link with the manuscript. Lindy's Spawn, 7th century in UK, the British Library. I went there to see the original pieces. That's great, very colorful decoration. Yeah, and stained glass. You can see some of my artworks. I got influenced by stained glass. Yes, I got a chance to discussing about stained glass with some very famous scholars for stained glass repaired. So this, and also Cubism, contemporary artworks. Yeah, look at the heaven. You can see. Yeah, so the empty tomb, Thomas, then Jesus, the separate images, the green resurrection road to heaven, the green resurrection road to heaven. Okay. Easter morning after resurrection. Oh, this is my I just finished last week. burning bush, Moses, and the angel calling. Yeah, I just I put the part on Facebook. Yeah, and I'm doing 2 new paintings. I'm doing very slowly, step by step. While I was painting the fire on the burning bush, my living city Arcadia got a big bobcat fire. It's not my fault. While I was painting a turbulent steep slopes, you can see there. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see. Oh, a big earthquake happened in my place. My city was almost in the center, just 1 kilometer. It's not my fault. I just, I will finish my painting now in a scanning shop. I will bring back my painting, and with very high resolution scanning, I can make GK prints. My angel, the Rebecca on the wheel. Yeah, we are living the world. We are really need angels coming, bring peaceful message, particularly during the time now before American election. So I think I have no time. I have to stop right now. Yeah, so it's only 20 minutes right now. Sorry, I cannot continue. So I need to answer some question.
Yes, thank you so much, Ichi, for your wonderful presentation.
Oh, thank you.
That was just delightful. I've got some questions already here. One is about light, and light seems very important to your work. How do you use, could you talk to us a little bit about how you use it when you're doing an interpretation of a painting from the Bible?
About how to use the light.
Yes.
From art. First, as I mentioned, as a Christian, always focus on Christian artists focus on night, God creation, art, night, very colorful word, night. And Jesus calling disciples and also encourage Christian become a light of the world. The night is very, very important for a Christian. As a Christian artist, I want to, not just follow our traditional Chinese art, black and white, traditional the Chinese color painting, no color. I like color. And for my study, before I came to United States, before I came to Europe, I study art, only follow the not so good quality, the publishing book. Introducing Impressionist style, Monet, Van Gogh. It's very terrible quality, the publication. Then now I have plenty of time to study, to see original paintings, even in the United States. When I was doing my painting, it's boring about the color. I stopped. I drove my car to Pasadena, the museum, collection, Impressionist style, even Van Gogh, 5 pieces of Van Gogh, original, I can see. So the color, let's see, I will show you. Let's see. Here, you can see. In Chicago Institute last year, I have been there several times. Last year, I can see very clearly Impressionist style, the color. So you're in 19th century, end of 19th century, the color, the warm color as a basement, and transfer the little cold color up on the face, so they can. Yeah, so if you have no chance to see the masterpieces in original, you may not do like this way. So for me, I think I'm lucky right now, living in the United States. I can see the famous artists, the original paintings.
Yes.
Yeah, anytime. Even when I was, I spent 10 more years living in Minnesota, Minneapolis, I can drop my car to Minneapolis Art Institute. They collect some, Monet, Van Gogh. Also, I can see the masterpieces in the original. So I think I'm lucky. I need to study. The art, the things particularly through art history, particularly since Impressionist style, the art pieces very colorful. Yeah, this very, very, I think I'm lucky. So
thank you.
the both part.
Thank you. There's another question here about why were you attracted to Christian imagery when Buddhist imagery also reflects peacefulness?
Yeah, you know, I was invited by Dao Fengshan Christian Center in Hong Kong. They called CMB, Christian Mission to Buddhism. For me, I think it's very, very interesting. The Buddhist, my, let's see, back to a long history. When I was in the countryside, yeah, I first time to see. Let's see the. Let's see. Yeah, it's better to talking about through my artworks. It's a big challenge for as a Christian Chinese people. They have very strong for ordinary Chinese people. They have very strong Buddhist cultural tradition. But for me, from art review, the Chinese Chinese religion, Chinese art history. I mentioned about, yeah. This is influenced by Buddhists. The Chinese artists historically they belong to Buddhists, but I don't like follow this way. They were not interesting real world. They just escape to dialogue to the mountain, back to the field. No interesting to real world. But as a Christian, we need to, Jesus asked us to become a light of the world. Reserve the people. So it's a completely different. Buddhist, I don't think it's very good for Chinese cultural reformation. So it's not so good as an artist. I hate to continue to follow Chinese religion, the Buddhist, the traditional scholar. This I don't like follow. Christianity follow Jesus. Very, lighting people. Not to just for yourself escape. So this is very important.
So a question to follow up on that is interesting. Someone has asked here, how's the reception of your artwork in China? How does it help Christians in China understand Christianity better?
Right now, it's step by step. I will tell you. Let's see here.
Hi, Dr. James.
Yeah.
Can you share with us your screen again if you want to share? So
I will show you here this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just 1 second. If you want to share some pictures, you're going to have to choose share screen again. We're not seeing the examples. Okay.
Okay. So you can see this one?
No, you'll have to go back down and select share screen again.
Okay.
It's the bottom of the screen there. Thank you.
Okay. It's you can see this one? It's
Not
okay.
yet. Not yet. So if you go to the bottom share screen, the green box with the pointer up.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Here?
Yeah, perfect.
Let's see. Okay. Okay.
We can't see much of it. Huh. Iman, can you give us a hand with this?
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
You can make it full screen, Dr. James, so we can see all of your screen.
Let's see. It's very strange. It's very...
Share screen again.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, yeah.
Dr. James, why don't we proceed to another question? That might be
it's okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Let's proceed to another question here, if we can.
Let's see. Here I will. Yeah. Have you seen this picture?
No.
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 Okay. Okay.
You need to click the share screen button, Dr. James.
Okay. Okay.
Please do it again.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. There we go. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And make full screen. If you
can see. Back to 1990s. I was a former professor in Nanjing Theological Seminary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I almost remember is 1996. There was a pastor in Suzhou. He came to visit seminary and came to visit me. He invited me to do a mural, a wall painting as a decoration for the new church in Suzhou. And I recommend this picture. But the pastor looked at this picture. 2 minutes, silence, just look at my picture. Then finally, he told me, no, we cannot use this picture. It's too Chinese. The Jesus looks like a Chinese. What we would like to invite you to do, just make a copy of Da Vinci's Last Supper. So I refused. So you see my painting used for Evangelical Lutheran Church International Conference. They are very interesting. But our Chinese pastor refused. They only interesting invite me to make a copy of Da Vinci's Last Supper. Then I refused. I told him, you can just invite any art student to make a copy of Da Vinci's work, not me. Yeah. Even I continue explain. I went to Italy. I went to Milan. I know Da Vinci is a kind of Italian indigenous Christian art. Yeah, during Italian Renaissance art, the artists always use mortar. So the artist Da Vinci, when he did a painting, Last Supper, all his disciples on the paintings, just Milan, the people in Milan. Walking down the street in Florence, I just found the gallery, Uffici's gallery, the Madonna, looks like walking down the street. I can find there. So the Florence during Italian Renaissance art, they paint Madonna looks like a Florence lady. It's a kind of Italian indigenous Christian art. But for our old pastor, they had only seen Italian Renaissance art before 1949. Then Chinese church closed its door. They did not realize what something happened outside China. Vatican II in 1960s happened. Very, very important. They did not know. The Vatican II encouraged Christian artists around the world to do their own expression, different style to express Christian faith, including church architecture style, contemporary modern expression style, not just make a copy of Gothic. So this is very, very important. So at that time, I think it's before the year of 2000. It's for Chinese old pastor. I think they could not accept only a few. Yeah, like our seminary and also MD Art Center. You see, during middle of 1990s, I was a former director of the MD Christian Art Center, also supported by Three Self Church. To use Chinese traditional way. Yeah, that's in Zhejiang Dongyang, the sculpture, wood carving, the life of Jesus, wonderful. I went to Dongyang, and the Chinese painting, the artist from Xinjiang province, then to Nanjing. Yeah, the paper carting, another famous woman artist. And then Chinese calligraphy, and this I did a demonstration, Chinese calligraphy. So we like a base area, MD Foundation. So we encourage people, traditional Chinese. So for Chinese church architecture also, yeah, the first time they are using to build a Gothic church. Yeah, this is brand new. They spend millions of dollars to build a Gothic church in Suzhou. They invited me to be there. They use one of my painting as a stand glass. But I criticize them. Don't build this kind of Gothic church. You spend millions of dollars to. So it's step by step. Yeah, to change the wrong idea. Yeah, not just for old pastor directly linked with before 1949. Yeah, we need to know open our eyes to know something happening around the world. So I wrote some articles, New Gothic Church architecture, not only one choice for our new church. Yeah. So our seminary in Nanjing, they 20 years ago, they designed to move outside the city to build a new campus, including a new church chapel. So they invited me to join the group to discussing, but they designed this new Gothic. I refused. Yeah, we had a big. Yeah, I really disagree. Yeah, I suggest either Chinese traditional architecture style or either contemporary expression, modern expression style. But the leading of this group, yeah, we had a fighting. So they asked me to resign my job. So I resigned my job because of this big quarrel. I working there over 20 years, no early retirement. So it's very difficult, yeah, to talking about. Yeah, I suggest even either contemporary modern art, modern architecture. This is in Twin City, St. John University, Abbey Church. Then this is a Bali, Indonesia, very typical indigenous way, the church. Yeah, the two-way. But step by step, the situation changed much better now. The first influenced by Hong Kong, then to Shenzhen, very influenced from Hong Kong. This seminary in Changzhou, I went there, they invited me to do some lectures there. They're very contemporary, modern, simple. And this is in Hong Kong, Daofengshan Lutheran Seminary, very typical Chinese architecture. They built in 1990s. Wonderful. I was joined this design as a decoration for the chapel. So this is then they invite Hong Kong architect to Shenzhen, close by, to design the contemporary modern expression church in Shenzhen, Mailing Church. Then before Olympic game happened in Beijing, the 2008. So the Chinese government, Chinese church, they like face work. So they invite some German architecture to build modern church. Yeah, the face project. So before Olympic game in Beijing and before Shanghai World Exposition 2010, so there are some Chinese, there are some contemporary modern church. This is in Shanghai. Before they built before 2010. Yeah, for the international. Yeah, this is in Nanjing because in 2015 there was a youth Olympic game happening in Nanjing, my city. Yeah, you can see this this church, modern church. Now I just mentioned the situation now is getting better for church circle. It's getting better, and I had my art exhibition in Nanjing about 8 years ago. Very appreciated, and they made by local television and local newspaper introducing my artworks. So yeah, maybe next time, if I have time, if Dr. Richard would like to invite me coming to visit your seminary next year, I would like to share more. Not today, no time now. Stop.
Well, we would love to have you, James, come to our school in the future. Maybe I can ask one last question. This is a question about influences on your work. The person asking the question says, your art reminds me of Chagall's versions of Jewish themes, also the Christian themes of the French painter Rouault. Have you looked at their artwork? So Chagall and Rouault.
Yeah. You are right. Chagall is one of my favorite artists. So last year, I finished my the conference in Purdue, here in Fuller. Then we went to, I did bring some scanners from Beijing University and Tsinghua University. We joined a conference in Purdue University. Then I finished the conference there. We went to Chicago. I just want to see Chagall's stained glass. Chagall. Oh, that's my favorite. Yeah, so I think it's a little different. This some Old Testament story paintings. Let's see. Okay. Here. Chagall also did some, okay, let's see. Yeah, this is my painting. Abraham with 3 angels. Actually, Chagall did the same. Yeah, first time I saw Chagall's painting, wonderful. Then what inspired me, to do another way, my own style. So I paint this painting, the angel, the three angels dancing ballet. And also I like expression style, particularly Rousseau, as you mentioned. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, in Art Institute in Minneapolis, I've been there several times. I spent 10 more years living in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I saw his original paintings, very strong. Yeah, expression as a Christian, the crucifixion.
Yes.
So they're both, as you mentioned, very powerful expression. They're both, yeah, Chagall's Old Testament story paintings, the Jewish tradition, and the Rousseau. Wonderful, great expression, very strong. But I have no time. If I have enough time, because in Kevin colleges invite me to have my art exhibition. At the same time, they had a collection of Rousseau. Yeah, the same time in the museum, the Kevin College. I will share you some pictures. That's wonderful. Oh, my favorite, Rousseau and my paintings together in at Kevin College in Michigan. The college museum, wonderful. I had a very wonderful experience sharing together expression with Rousseau, as you mentioned. Both my favorite.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Chi, I just want to say thank you so much to you. I mean, first of all, thank you for your enthusiasm. Your faith and your love of what you do just comes through with every sentence you speak, and it makes your presentation just so interesting to us. Thank you for walking us through the history of Christian mission in China, both in art and in architecture. That was just a fascinating tour, and I want to say how glad I am that you made the move from Mao to Madonna. That is wonderful. Your talents have been put into the service of the Christian church and of the Christian witness to the world around us. Your emphasis on the message of peace. I mean, wow, what more could we ask for in the times in which we live? And so thank you for your peaceful message, for the story of your own life, for the story of your culture and background. It's been an inspiration to us. And believe me, on the basis of this evening, we'll love to have you in Vancouver when traveling is easier to do, and spend an extended period of time with us, sharing more of what you do so beautifully and the love with which you do it. So thank you very much from all of us at the Vancouver School of Theology.
Thank you. My big honor. My big honor. Thank you.
And let me say, in the chat box, there's thank yous from students and visitors, people clapping their hands. They're saying they're clapping their hands. So there you are.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. My big honor for sharing. Thank you. Good night.